Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on crypto. I hope you're having a great day. There is a lot to unpack, a lot of things that could actually hit the market and have big time effects. Let's go over the first one. You all know that I used to be a major fan of Ledger. No, they've never paid me a dime. I've never gotten any free equipment from them. Nothing like that, nothing of the sort. But I was a big fan. I really liked what their product was doing. And, I still own a few of their products. However, they came out with this new idea about having this crypto recovery service. And that really, truly ticked me off because the way they did it was not to introduce a new product, but to introduce the service by backdooring into existing products. And now they're saying, well, because of backlash, we're going to put that on ice. Not enough. It's not enough to me, right? Because they're only saying, "Oh, we're gonna put it on ice. We're gonna not do it." But you introduced the code. You introduced the idea. You spent years and years and years building up all of this trust, and you've destroyed it. You've destroyed it. So I don't know. I know now that none of my money is actually on a ledger right now. I'm all done with that. I still have the devices, but I'm not keeping my assets on there. I use other wallets, mobile wallets, browser-based wallets. In terms of hardware, I keep my stuff on an old phone. Not actually, it's not even old. It's pretty new. I keep that phone, and it's basically a burner phone, and I put that on the side. It's not connected to anything. When I need to reach my assets, I will turn on the phone, hook it up to the internet, do whatever it is I have to do, and then turn off the phone and unhook it from the internet, period. As far as my private keys, I keep my keys stored in several different places where only I can get to them, my family can get to them. And the reason why is because not your keys, not your wallet. This should not be a hard concept. People are still asking me, what wallets do you recommend? I don't recommend jack. Not trying to be mean, but I don't recommend anything. I am not a financial advisor. I'm not going to recommend anything. I'm going to tell you what I use, and I did that yesterday, so I'm not going to do it again. But I will tell you how I choose my wallets. It depends on the coin and the type of transaction that I'm going to do. And there's one more factor: ease of use. Ease of use of the wallet. That's it. Right? I want to look at a wallet. I want to be able to do what I need to do. I want to be able to get on, get off real quick, be done. I want to make sure that for me, it doesn't have any additional services other than the services that I'm looking for. I don't want a bloated wallet. I want to make sure that I can reach, different places easily from that wallet, like Chain Jelly, or I always forget how to pronounce that company name, but I use Chain Jelly, Uniswap, other dexes. I want to be able to get to those quickly, without having to use a third party necessarily. I want to be able to review pricing across the different exchanges to see how I can make money, and how fast they move, right? Is it quick for me to punch in a transaction? Is it quick for that transaction to get out? That's all. That's it. I'm not really looking for much. I don't need bells and whistles. Don't want bells and whistles. It's a freaking wallet. I'm going to be able to open it up, take out my money, use it, put it back. That's all I care for. In terms of security, again, not connected to the internet unless I need it to be. Depending on the transactions and the frequency of those transactions, those are the things that I'm looking for. I'm glad that Ledger has taken a step back and rethought this new service. It's a horrendous move. They should have introduced it with a new hardware, with a new hardware key. They should have introduced it with maybe even launching a separate business, not just a separate line, but a separate business to do it. That would have been smarter. There are so many different ways they could have introduced that service. There probably are people that want that kind of service. I don't know why. There's no way in the world that I want anybody. I can shard my private keys myself. I have 4 kids. I've got a dog. I've got birds outside. There are 50 million places. I got my mom. I got my brothers, my sisters. I have 50 different ways to shard, my keys. I can give each one of them 1 word, 2 words, 3 words, whatever number, each one of them words. I'm just not. I'm just not feeling it. I can give wifey a number. She's got her own wallet. Of course, she doesn't have to do anything with it. I have to. So you know how that works. But the idea is that, you can take care of your own stuff. Do it. If you're not up to the task, then use a recognized centralized exchange. I'm not a fan of centralized exchanges because I'm a bit more advanced. Those people and you can tell people that are a bit more advanced in what they do and how they do it don't rely on centralized exchanges. They rely more on decentralized exchanges. But if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know what it means to, not your keys, not your wallet, if you don't know what that means, use a centralized exchange. No, I'm not going to recommend any. Next big one. Reuters, again, going after Binance. Why? I just want to understand why. They're saying this time that they're commingling customer funds. Do you know how many hoops they have to jump through, that Binance has to jump through on a global level, on a global scale? They're that big around the world. They are the biggest around the world. They're not the biggest in the United States. That's Coinbase. But they are the biggest around the world because the world doesn't revolve around the United States. Just going to put that out there for you. Do I believe that, that can happen? It could. I think it'd be incredibly difficult. But what's annoying me is that Binance is not really hitting back legally. I'm waiting for Binance to hit back legally. That would make me sit a little bit easier with that situation. Now, Hong Kong, CBDC, that's going to happen. Pilot is going to kick off or is kicking off with HSBC and Visa, and they expect to have the findings just in time for their FinTech Week, which happens October 30th. That's huge considering they're also saying that retail investors will be able to start investing in crypto, both mainland China and Hong Kong, June 1st. Do you know what kind of money we're talking about? You know how many people in China would love to get their money into crypto so they can leave? Yeah, I'm just saying that's where it's at. Coinbase is fighting back hard against the SEC. SEC wants to avoid answering their petition by saying, hey, we're not going to give you clarity on what deems a coin or project to be a security. And Coinbase is sitting back like, no, you can't do that. They're pointing out their stupidity. They're pointing it out, and it's going to be hard for them. Jamie Dimon is saying, listen, the real estate market, especially the commercial real estate market, could see a major hit. And the reason why, or turmoil, and the reason why is because that 5% mark that that the Fed has on their interest rate hikes, that mark could move to 6 or 7%. If that happens, you're going to see major problems happen. Okay. Ripple acquires a piece of Bitstamp. That's big. That's really big. 400. They bought in for $500 million. They get a seat on the board. They are expanding, and they're not done yet. They've got more coming. The Winklevoss twins are saying, you know what? Being in the United States is nice. We're going to make some major investments in the UK. We're going to be pumping in money over there. They're looking for new offices, what could be deemed as a global headquarters for them. And Cameron Winklevoss actually took it a step further and said, listen, he could easily see the day where they've got more headcount outside the United States than within the United States. Let that wash over you for a minute. The Great Escape is on. The SEC has effed up. The Great Escape is on, period. End of report. I just don't understand what it is, about, the SEC and screwing everything up. I don't understand. And you know what? Let's not leave the CFTC out of this. They need to step up their game too. They haven't done jack. I'm just saying that there comes a point where everybody's got to step up to the plate, and the SEC needs to change out Gary Gensler because he's a misfit. He really is a misfit. But you know what we should do? We should get into the numbers. So let's do that. Let's see. And I'm actually prepared today. Bam. There you go. So here you go. Bitcoin down to 26,735. I'm expecting it to rise a little bit. I think that the debt ceiling problem is going to wind up going away, and that's when you're going to see a bump. If Hong Kong actually allows retail investors to invest directly in the markets and crypto markets, you're done. That's going to see a huge influx of money. Now, they're already allowed in mainland China. They are allowed to invest in crypto, certain people, but very small amounts. Actually, I think it's that it's not crypto, it's that they're allowed to move their money in very small amounts outside the country. This would be different. This could be a huge game changer. Even if it was just the money stays in China, but it's in crypto, woo, you're talking about billions, maybe even trillions of dollars hitting the market. That could be a catalyst. That could be a major catalyst. So looking at these numbers right now, Ethereum at 1816, Bitcoin at 26,730. I think that'll go up today. XRP is down to 45 cents. DOGE is down to 7.1 cents. So there are opportunities here. There are definitely opportunities here. I'd be looking at probably Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polkadot, Avalanche, Polygon, of course, Litecoin. Only I'm talking about China. Litecoin. I think Bitcoin Cash is another one on the list that they'd be able to play with. It's a very limited list. It's not like they're gonna be able to do everything. It's a very limited list, but that money could be hitting the market and hit the market like in a big way. So that's something we should definitely be paying attention to. Ethereum this is going to continue to happen. It's just going to continue being, deflationary. So I think that's a good thing. Not going to get into the U.S. stuff. The fear and greed index. We're still at 50. We're at 50 yesterday. We're at 50 today. Not bad. Not mad about that. Back down to $60.5 billion in total value locked. I'd love to see that number rise, and I think you will see that number rise. Over the course of this coming year, I think you're going to see that number rise in a major fashion. Now, side note, Sun is looking for, real estate deals, and I told him, he hates when I tell him this, but I told him, don't do anything. After listening to Jamie Dimon, looking at the numbers that are out there, I think you have people that are holding on to real estate property, looking to get rid of it right now because they don't want to get caught out there, and they want to realize their gains in the market. And I'm sitting back and I'm going, yeah, I can see that. But to buy a piece of real estate now and then think that you're going to have a good deal and flip it later, either you're going to flip it later, but I mean, like, get it, refinance it later and get a better rate. That's not going to be for a while, and you should never buy real estate with the idea of, oh, we'll actually make money when we refinance. No, don't do that. Don't do that. So those are things that I'm looking at right now. Is everything that can affect the commercial real estate market. Anything greater than a single family is technically commercial real estate. I learned that eons ago working for this company. So that's what I'm paying attention to. So I'm really paying attention to what banks are doing, how they're doing it. I'm also paying attention to what could wind up being a self-fulfilling prophecy, which is we're going to get into a recession because everybody's preparing for a recession. And because companies are preparing for a recession, that means they're not spending so much money. Well, a company that's not spending so much money, put all of them together, and now you have a decrease in spend, and there's your recession. So there's a lot to contemplate when you have that going on right now. In terms of where we are, we're still bouncing around that bottom line, of 26,475. That bottom line that of my band, I have that green band. Like I said, it's at 26,475 and 31,580. When you look within that band, we are literally bouncing along the bottom of that band. I have to tell you, to me, that's a buying opportunity because I think within the next little while, we will see 30,000 again. That's just my humble opinion. I'm just looking at everything and how everything is. I was listening to a couple of people because I get my news from a lot of different places. So I've been listening to a few people and looking at the news, and I'm starting to see a lot of money tied up in stable coins, ready to rock and roll, just waiting for that right moment. And I think that right moment, the first catalyst is going to be debt ceiling gets solved. Boom. That'll be the first catalyst. If June 1st happens with China, boom, that'll be the second catalyst. And that second catalyst won't be small. Everybody would want to get in before they can get in and all that good stuff. And remember, most of these coins are scarce, especially Bitcoin. Just an idea, something for you to pay attention to. So we don't have to really go over this. We already know what it looks like. Solana, what's funny is I was looking at Solana. Solana's trying to do, and it's under 100%. Solana is trying to come out with a new AI integration with ChatGPT. That's cute. That's awesome. Instead of doing more integrations, how about you fix your little network problem that pops up every now and then? That would be the one that I would be concentrating on. The Solana phone, really? No. Anyway, this is Eddie J on crypto. Hope my research helps. I'm not trying to pitch coins to you. I'm trying to pitch to you the idea of doing your own research. So I share mine with you. If you have something you want me to look into, ask me. I will try to look into it. Somebody asked me to look into Exodus wallet. I've never used it. Sorry, Mona. Never used it. And I have no plans on using it. Right now, the wallets that I have, at my fingertips afford me everything that I need to do with what I'm doing. So I don't even know if Exodus wallet is a hardware wallet, a card wallet. I have no idea. Somebody else asked me, I think it might have been Mona too. She asked me about, a card wallet. Listen, a wallet's a wallet's a wallet. It's honestly how I look at it. In terms of security, your private keys. How are you securing your private keys? Do you have them written down in a fireproof safe, in a safety deposit box? Where do you have them? Where can you get to them? Can anybody else get to them? That's all that matters. Not your keys, not your wallet. Anyway, have a good one. Bye-bye.